The good news, diabetes type 2 is a curable disease. So I would advise you to read the book, not only read the book, but apply it and cure your diabetes. My last video, I was talking about pre-diabetic, and then tests which is being done, even in the world, most tests, the majority of test doctors will tell you to do, is blood sugar level. And this, is not so reliable because it goes up and down every time. And then this one is a good marker, our HbA1c, which is a 3 years marker, how much sucrose is stuck on your hemoglobin. But just to tell you one thing, we've got 6 types of diabetes in the world. Number 1, type 1 diabetes, which many people knows, where there is a deficiency, where the pancreas is not producing insulin. And then number 2, we have a type of diabetes which we name it type 1.5. It's called LADA, L-A-D-A, latent autoimmune diabetes for the adult. And this can happen by the year after 35 to 40 years time. And there's a quite deficiency of insulin, and one of the antibodies is not working. We call it GAT65. And then third, we have another type of diabetes of type 1.5. We call it MODY, maturity onset diabetes for the young. This happens after 18 to 20 years time. This also, we have some anti-immune deficiency in your body. And then we have this type 2 diabetes, which can be plenty of insulin or little insulin. And then we have the gestational diabetes for the woman when they are pregnant and all this. And this diabetes is like a type 2 diabetes. It can goes away after birth, after 2 months, 3 months after birth, or it can stay as a type 2 diabetes. And these people also, they follow the instruction of the book. And lastly now, we have so many people having Alzheimer. So many people, I will explain in the book how we get this Alzheimer, and this has been called now type 3 diabetes. So we've got all these diabetes with these 2 tests, which I've been doing for the last 25 years. How can we know which type of diabetes do you have? How can we know whether you are type 1 diabetes? How can you know whether you are insulin deficiency? How can you know you've got plenty of insulin? How can you know that you've got some autoimmune, some antibodies in your system which is not working properly? We have 8 tests to be done. Number 1, we have the blood sugar, the HbA1c, and then there's another test which we call HOMA-IR to see how much insulin resistance you are. This is explained how to make the calculation in the book. You take your fasting insulin times your blood sugar divided by 22.5. It should be less than 1.5. If it is more than that, you are very insulin resistant. And then we have that C-peptide test, which I mentioned earlier. C-peptide test is a nice marker. They produce insulin and then C-peptide as well. They make it the same step. And this will tell you how much insulin your pancreas is producing. And then after you have fasting insulin, which I just mentioned. And then we have antibodies test, GAT65, this to see whether you've got LADA, and then autoimmune, whether you've got diabetes type 1, and the anti-nuclear body, whether you've got MODY, and fasting insulin. These are all these tests which is to be, in Mauritius, when I use myself, I've combined to cure my diabetes. I've sent all these tests to France that I know what kind of diabetes, how I am in my body. And then I And then I do what has been instructed, written in this book, to cure my diabetes in 3 months' time. And then you should be doing it as well. These are all the tests. At least the C-peptide test is very important, and your fasting insulin is very important to know where you stand. And then you can ask your doctor as well, tell you why this test is not being done. Let's see what they will tell you. And then when you go to see your doctor, you have diabetes. When you go to see your doctor, he will give you lots of medicine, plenty of medicine. Ask your doctor one thing, when he's giving you all this medicine and even insulin as well, whether this medicine will cure your diabetes or whether this medicine will only lower your blood sugar. This is what you should tell him, and he won't have any answer to give you, because all this medicine which you are taking for diabetes, like I was taking before, is only to lower your blood sugar. Blood sugar is a symptom of the disease. It's not the disease. Diabetes is a disease of too much insulin, which result in high level of blood sugar and high level of fat. This is the disease. Blood sugar is only a symptom. All these medicine you've been given is treating only a symptom of the disease. It's not curing the disease. Another silly things also, like I was having, you've got plenty of insulin in your body. Doctor is giving you insulin. You got so much insulin, it's like giving an alcoholic more alcohol. This is what they are doing with diabetes. And it's a pity all these doctors, 90% of these doctors and pharmaceutical industry and the food industry, everybody with all their publicity and false report, they are playing with the life of all these people. You will take all these medicine, you had to eat junk food, you had to eat all these processed food and be sick and take all medicine, you get all complication till you die. See you next time for the next video. So I would advise you to read the book and apply it to cure your diabetes.